The water didn't retreat. It didn't finish rising either. It just stopped, hanging there like it was waiting for someone in that room to say the wrong thing. That's when Chief Adviser Nnamdi walked in. He looked at the glowing water rising around two royal sisters like a man reviewing an inconvenient tax report. "Your Majesty," he said, "I have served this crown for 22 years. I have never once told you something you did not need to hear. I will not start tonight. The river has waited 3 generations, he said. If we deny it any longer, it will not simply flood a throne room, it will flood a kingdom. One life, freely given, could end this tonight. I understand your love for them," he told Mama Udara gently. "But love has never once been strong enough to argue with a drought." Isioma was the first to see it. I watched her expression change, like she was recognizing a familiar shape underneath an unfamiliar coat. "You've wanted one of us gone since before tonight, haven't you?" she said. It wasn't a question. It was an accusation dressed politely as one. For the first time since he'd entered the room, Chief Adviser Nnamdi didn't have an immediate answer. That silence told me everything his careful words had been hiding. Years before I was born, Nnamdi had argued the council should never search for the missing princess at all. 2 clean heirs, he'd said, threatened the stability of a kingdom far more than 1 heir with no rivals. "I am not your enemy," he said finally. "I am the only person in this hall willing to make the hard choice. Everyone else is too sentimental to make." The king looked at a man he had trusted for 22 years like he was seeing him for the first time. I understood that feeling better than anyone else in that room. Baba Fasoranti had been silent through all of it. When he finally spoke again, even Nnamdi stopped talking. "You assume the river wants a sacrifice," he said. "You have assumed this for 22 years, Chief Adviser. You have never once asked it what it actually wants." And the moment he said it, the water listened. It pulled back from us, slow and deliberate, like it was agreeing with him out loud in the only language it had. It didn't want either of us dead. It never had. I felt something in my chest loosen for the first time since the riders came for me. But I also watched Chief Adviser Nnamdi's face while the water retreated. And what I saw there wasn't relief. It was recalculation. He bowed. He excused himself. He walked away exactly as calmly as he'd arrived. But I saw the letter hidden in his sleeve before he left. And I understood the danger in that palace was never the water at all. It had just been standing in the room with us the entire time, wearing very fine robes. I told myself I would sleep on it, figure out what to do in the morning. But some truths don't let you wait until morning they pull you out of bed while everyone else in the palace is still pretending to be safe. Nobody in that palace slept well that night. I know, because I spent most of it listening to every door that opened down the hall, waiting to hear which one belonged to Chief Adviser Nnamdi. I told myself I was only going to look. I have never once been a very convincing liar, especially not to myself. I found his study by following the one thing every careful man forgets to hide the smell of a candle that's been burning far longer than an innocent letter would need. The room was empty, too organized to belong to a man who'd spent the evening rewriting a kingdom's fate in his head. And then I saw it. Not the royal seal, something else. A mark I didn't recognize, pressed into dark red wax, half hidden like it was never meant to be found by anyone in this palace at all. I told myself I would only look. Then I read the first line and I stopped being able to stop. It wasn't addressed to anyone inside the palace. It was addressed to someone in a neighboring kingdom. Someone Nnamdi had apparently been writing to for years. He wasn't trying to protect this kingdom from the river at all. He was trying to weaken it enough that another kingdom's army would have an easy reason to walk in and finish the job. "You're a terrible liar," Isioma said from the doorway. "You told the guard you couldn't sleep. You forgot guards talk to each other." I handed her the letter without a word. I watched my sister's face do the same thing mine had probably done a moment earlier. "He's not just betraying the crown," Isioma whispered. "He's timed it. Whatever he's planning it for the same night the river finally decides what to do with us." We barely had time to hide it before the footsteps reached the door. It was Dayo, not Nnamdi. I have never been more relieved to see someone in my entire life and more annoyed at how obvious my relief must have looked. He didn't ask what we were doing there. He looked at the broken seal on the desk and understood immediately that whatever we'd found, it was the kind of thing that gets people killed for finding it. We agreed there was only one place that letter could safely go straight into the king's hands before anyone realized it was missing. But when we reached his chamber, something was already wrong. No guards at the door, no sound from inside, just a silence that felt deliberate. The king was gone, and on the floor, leading toward the open window, was a trail of the exact same red wax I had just broken the seal on, still slightly warm. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you subscribe to Moonlight Tales by Joy for more unforgettable African mystery and folklore stories. Comment Riva if you're still trying to figure out Nnamdi's true plan, and tell me your biggest theory before the next episode. Share this story with someone who loves suspense, mystery, and African legends.